Hi, I'm Marcus Chin. I'm an illustrator. I am going to do the Toon Me challenge today with Domestika. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this challenge, it's basically taking a photo of yourself and then combining it with a cartoon or a toon version of yourself. The cool thing about this challenge is that it's mixing something that's real versus surreal, or something that's serious versus silly. Oftentimes, if I have a creative block, one of the things that I like to do is go on the internet and use some random word generators, color generators, that type of thing. And so that's what I've done. So this is randomwordgenerator.com. And you can select the number of words that you want to use. And there are 3 words: cup, charity, and heaven. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to refer to these words in case I'm creatively blocked or just don't have many ideas, and then refer to them to see if they can inspire some kind of pictures. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is decide on the colors that I want to use. So I know sometimes as a teacher, some of my students are afraid of color. I tell them not to be. For those who are not just afraid, but they don't know what kind of colors to use, I suggest for them to use some color generators, and this is called random.org. Here, all you have to do is hit the button that says generate color. These are going to be my colors that I'm going to refer to. I've taken some photos of myself. So this is the one that I'm going to choose. I chose something that's not quite serious, but it's, you know, pretty straightforward. The reason why I did this is because I want to create a drawing that is the opposite of that. So see what's happened? Right now on my left side, I have the colors that I've generated. I have the 3 words that I'm using as inspiration, and we can finally begin. So the first thing that I do, or I want to do, is to ask myself, well, what kind of shape of head do I want? I have a pretty round head. I kind of look like an egg. So I want to, you know, probably decide on the shape, and also decide which part of my face I want to turn into a cartoon and which part to keep normal. So let's start a new layer. I'm going to, for now, just use, you know, a light pink, and decide that maybe I want to, I don't know, extend this part of my head, sort of like a horned section. So that's what I'm gonna do. And where I wanna cut my face is probably, you know, I wanna cut 2 parts of it. So I'm gonna go and use a very sort of generic line right here. And then on the other side of my face, I'm gonna cut through my eye and then cross my lips. So I kind of look like I have a hard head. And so I'm gonna select a color that's close to my skin color and just literally color over. And right now, I still don't know exactly what I'm gonna be drawing. I don't know how I'm gonna change myself, but that's why I have those words, cup, heaven, and charity next to me. Something that I want to reinforce is, especially for this kind of a thing, this Toon Me challenge, and just if you're creating your own personal work, art should be fun, illustration should be fun, experimenting and exploration is a real asset. So, you know, if you're getting frustrated, don't be. Just sort of go with the flow and enjoy the process. What I'm gonna do now is lower the opacity so you can see a little bit of my photo beneath it. Lock that layer and then add a new layer where I'm actually going to start painting my cartoon self. The first thing I'm gonna do is block in or put ticks on the edges of where my photo face is. And I'm gonna use certain landmarks such as my eyebrows. You can see I have this laugh line that starts here, the top of my lip. My mouth's a bit open, so you also see part of the bottom of my lip as well. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now I have created the ticks of where I'm gonna start my cartoon self, and I'm going to refer to these words as inspiration. First word that I see is heaven, and I wanna use heaven as inspiration for what I'm gonna do. I wanna maybe think of the opposite, so maybe the devil. So that would indicate to me that I wanna put horns on myself. I'm going to give myself mean eyes, not cute angel eyes, but I'm gonna give myself mean eyes. I'm going to extend it that way. And then instead of giving myself a smile, I'm going to give myself a frown. So you can see right there, I'm just literally marking in where my mouth would be. And Last but not least, for this section, I want to actually fill in the color within the outlines. And so I'm going to use, I guess, white, since, you know, I'm doing the horns, I want white horns, so let's just fill that in. My fill color, I'm actually going to put beneath my line color. So these are my horns. For those of you who are using an iPad to draw with and you want to have colors that seamlessly blend with your photo self, you can always just use the color picker there, which is what I'm doing right now as I'm filling in the eyeballs. I want to fill in my eyeballs, but I want to make it red because I want you to see the evil version of myself. I'm usually pretty nice. I'd like to think I'm a nice person. My mouth is a little bit open and you can see some of my teeth in the photo. So what I'm going to do is fill the open part of my mouth with the same color as my teeth. And I actually don't want to put human teeth on. I actually want to make it a little bit more vicious. So you're going to see some fangs show up in between that. So let's do that right now. The cool thing about this Toon Me challenge is that because it occurs on social media, it really allows people who have never been together, who have never met, to really participate and share what they know and exchange information in a creative way. So I've decided to extend my mustache and turn it into something longer. I mean, since I don't have much hair on my head, I might as well just create more down the sides of my face. So now what I wanted to do is add some more color into this picture, and I'm going to refer to the color generator that I used earlier, and I want to use the violet color. So I'm going to put purple eyeshadow on me. I can add some of the teal from the color generator and insert that underneath the bottom part of my eye. One thing that I want to do too is make sure that I contain my face and, you know, actually fill out the form, the edges of my face. And so what I'm going to do is just outline it a tiny bit so that it looks like it has more structure, as you can see. I think maybe I want to have some heart cheeks. I thought of heart because the word generator came up with charity, and when I think charity, I think of giving, I think of love. I feel like I don't want to be completely bald, and so I'm going to add a little bit of hair. Whenever I'm doing a hairline, I don't just sort of draw it out in a sort of a fluid line. I stipple out the outline just with some dots. And the reason why is it's kind of a light indication of where your hair would actually insert into your scalp. And from that point, I would use those as kind of starting points of where I want my hair to come out of my scalp. And you can see what's happening as well. Doing these types of marks, the stippling, the hatch marks that I'm doing for the hair right now, creates a variation in terms of line quality and actually makes your picture a bit more interesting to look at. So what I want to do now is go into Liquify, one of my favorite filters, and sort of push around the cartoon version of me just to distort it a little bit more. Okay, that's me. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you had a great time. I really did. If you liked what you saw, then please subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn more about digital illustration, please sign up to my Domestika illustration course. Thanks. Bye.